Welcome! In this tutorial, I'll show you how to turn any Magic, the Gathering cards, into a print-ready PDF you can print at home or hand to a print shop. This tool handles everything: pulling cards from the official database, letting you upload your own art, laying them out on a page with proper cut lines, and even calibrating double-sided prints so the backs line up. We'll go through every panel from top to bottom. First, the left side, where you add cards, then the right side, where you build and export the sheet. Nothing here is complicated once you know what each control does, so let's take it one panel at a time. Everything starts with the card browser at the very top. This is your main way to add cards. Search a card by name, and you'll see the different printings available. Pick the art. If you set a card's quantity to 4 copies show up on your sheet ready to print, so you never have to add the same card multiple times. Just set the number. Right below is card size, and this is more powerful than it first looks. You can toggle between inches and millimeters at the top, and then pick from a preset. The default is standard, 63 by 88 millimeters. That's the exact size of a real Magic card. So for normal proxies, you can leave this alone. But if you're doing something special, you can set a custom width and height directly in the fields below. That's how you'd print oversized commander cards, mini cards, or a non-standard size. For the vast majority of people, though, standard is exactly what you want. And getting this right matters, because it determines whether your printed cards will actually fit in standard sleeves. The upload panel is for bringing in your own images, custom proxies, altered art, tokens you designed, anything you've made yourself. You can drag files in, or literally paste from your clipboard. It supports JPG, PNG, and WebP. The key setting here is upload mode, with 3 options: auto detect, without bleed, and with bleed. Bleed is that extra strip of art around the edge of a card that gets trimmed off during cutting. It exists, so you never get a white sliver on the edge if your cut is slightly off. Auto detect is the smart choice for most people. It inspects your image and figures out whether bleed is already included. Keep the auto detect existing bleed box checked, and the tool does the thinking for you. And don't worry if your image doesn't have bleed at all. The system adds it automatically at export. If a card you upload is missing bleed, the tool extends its edge art to fill the bleed area for you, so your cards still print cleanly without white edges. That means you can upload art as is and let the tool handle the rest. At the bottom, you can set a default card back. Whatever you pick here becomes the back of every card in the project automatically, unless you go in and override a specific card later. The import panel is a time saver if your deck already exists somewhere online, and it supports all the big deck building sites. Just paste the link to your deck, and the tool pulls in every card automatically, no adding them one at a time. There's also a dedicated Import MPC Fill XML option, so if you've already built a project there, you can carry that straight over. Deck list is the text-based version of importing. If you've got a plain list of cards written out, paste it right into the box. Card names and quantities, 1 per line. Notice the preferred art source toggle at the top: Scryfall or MPC Fill. So between the two sources, you can mix official printings and community proxy art in a single deck list. You've also got 2 really useful checkboxes: auto import associated tokens, so if your deck makes treasure or zombie tokens, those get added for you, and include promotional printing when specified, which respects special set codes in your list. When your list's ready, hit Fetch Cards to load them, Clear List to start over, or add associated tokens to pull in token cards after the fact. There's a format help link too if your list isn't parsing correctly. My Cards. Last on the left is My Cards, your personal saved library. Anything you've created before is stored here, so you can reuse it across projects without re-uploading. Just search by name or keyword, or hit Open My Cards browser to see everything at once. Once your cards are on the sheet in the center, you can drag them to reorder them into any arrangement you like. Before we lay out the page, let's cover fronts and backs, because this is where you fine-tune individual cards. Click any card on the sheet, and a panel opens, letting you compare official printings, browse custom editions, or upload your own replacement art for just that one card. There's a flip control in the top right of the card, so you can inspect the back too. Getting your back sorted now makes the duplex calibration later much smoother. Now we move to the right column, which is where your loose cards become an actual printable page. We'll go top to bottom, and the big thing to remember is that the preview in the center updates live. Every change you make shows instantly, so you're never guessing. First, page layout. Start with page size. Pick letter, A4, or custom depending on what your printer uses. Then, set your columns and rows. This is your grid. 3 columns by 3 rows gives you 9 cards per page, which is the classic magic layout and fits nicely on letter or A4. Swap orientation flips the whole page between portrait and landscape, useful for squeezing out an extra row or column depending on your card and paper dimensions. Play with these numbers and watch the preview. You're aiming to fit as many cards per page as possible without them getting cramped or cut off. Advanced card positioning is your precision toolkit, and it matters most when your printer isn't perfectly calibrated. Inside, you'll find the card alignment tool, which we'll use for duplex in a minute. There's card spacing, letting you set the horizontal and vertical gaps between cards in millimeters. A small gap gives you room to cut cleanly between cards without nicking the neighbor. There's an option to center cards across disabled gaps for even distribution. Then, card position adjustment with horizontal and vertical offsets. This shifts your entire grid on the page. If your printer always drifts everything a few millimeters to one side, you correct it here. There's even a page rotation slider and a separate back offset option, which becomes essential for double-sided printing since the second side of a sheet often feeds in slightly differently. If you're printing double-sided, duplex, with real card backs instead of blank paper, this calibration step is what separates clean cards from misaligned ones. When you flip a sheet to print the second side, printers almost never feed it perfectly, so the backs end up slightly shifted relative to the fronts. This tool fixes that. Open the card alignment tool, then select your face or back slots. Apply X and Y offsets to nudge the backs into alignment and use rotation if the second side comes out slightly turned. The crucial habit here is to keep your face and back offsets separate because you're correcting for how your specific printer handles the flip. And my strongest advice for the whole tutorial: export a test template and print a single page first. Print one sheet, hold it up to the light, see how far off the backs are, adjust the offsets, and only then commit to your full run. This one habit saves enormous amounts of paper, ink, and frustration. Guides are your cut lines, the marks that tell you exactly where to trim. Turn them on, and you'll see them on the preview and, importantly, on the final PDF exactly as shown. You can set the guide color and width so they stand out against your specific card art. A bright green line is easy to follow on a dark card, for instance. Lets you choose corner guides versus full lines, and you can control guide length and whether they show up as full lines or shorter tick marks. If you're cutting by hand with a ruler and blade, full lines help. If you're using a machine, corner guides or ticks may be cleaner. There's also a duplex printing guide visibility option so your guides work on both sides. Registration marks are special alignment symbols that automatic cutting machines use to locate your sheet and cut precisely. If you're cutting by hand, you can leave these off entirely. But if you own a supported cutter, turning these on lets the machine read the sheet's position and trim every card automatically, which is a huge upgrade in speed and consistency for large batches. Bleed we touched on earlier, and here's where you control it for the whole sheet. Here's the reassuring part. If a card you uploaded or added doesn't already have bleed, The system adds it for you automatically at export, so you don't need to prep your images perfectly. The tool extends the edge art to fill the bleed area on anything that's missing it. So if your cut wanders even half a millimeter, there's still art there instead of a white edge. Set your bleed width in millimeters or inches, and you'll see options for handling images with bleed versus images without bleed separately, since a card that already includes bleed shouldn't have more piled on. Darken Pixels is a correction tool for a common printing problem. Many home printers wash out dark areas, so black borders come out looking gray. This setting deepens the darks to compensate. The useful part is the Apply to section, where you choose exactly what gets darkened, with checkboxes for each. That means you can darken only the sources that need it and leave your carefully prepared uploads untouched. If you run a test print and the black borders look faded, come back here and dial this in. Filter and Sort keeps large sheets organized. There are quick filters for mana value, card type like custom cards or instants, and colors with white, blue, black, red, green, colorless, and multicolor buttons. So if you've loaded a 100-card sheet and only want to see your red instants, you can filter down to exactly those in seconds. Reset Filters clears it all and shows everything again. This won't change your printed output. It's purely to help you find and arrange cards while you work. The Export panel, where it all comes together into a downloadable file. First, choose your faces, fronts only, backs only, or duplex for double-sided. The duplex option produces paired mirrored backs, so everything lines up when you flip the sheet. Next, set your DPI, which is print resolution. Higher DPI means sharper cards. You can pick a preset or enter a custom DPI. Then set your page range if you only need specific pages rather than the whole project, handy for reprinting a single messed up sheet. The File menu is your project hub. New Project starts a fresh sheet from scratch. Open Projects brings up everything you've saved. Save as a copy duplicates your current project. Handy when you want to try a variation without touching the original. Below that are two power user options, Export Project JSON and Import Project JSON. These let you save your entire project setup as a file and load it back later, or move it between accounts and devices. And at the bottom, Delete Project removes the current one when you're done with it. Right next to the File menu, you'll also find Quick Save, Undo, and Redo buttons, so you can experiment freely and step back if something doesn't look right. Then there's Share. Clicking it opens sharing options for your project. The first choice lets people view your project and save their own copy to their account, which is perfect for sharing a proxy set with friends. The second option, Update Original, is a premium feature that lets signed-in collaborators edit and save the same project alongside you. True teamwork on one sheet. To generate a shareable link, just save the project first, then hit Copy to grab the link. You'll also see quick stats here, views, copies, and likes. So if you share your creations publicly, you can see how they're doing. When everything's set, hit Export to PDF, and the finished file downloads straight to your device. From there, print it, cut along your guides, and you've got your own cards. Take your time on the test print, and once your settings are dialed in, you can reuse them for every project after. Thanks for watching, and happy printing!